Okay, so in today's tutorial, I'm basically going to be showing everybody how to send effective buyer request, how you can actually set effective buyer request. And it's very simple that you understand the concept of this buyer request. As a freelancer, your work is to actually get job for yourself. And for you to be able to do that, you must understand how to send buyer requests that actually respond and resonate with people. And so that is why the extent to which you can send a buyer request that can respond to what the buyer wants determines how much you are actually going to be able to get the contract you are seeking for. And so that's why it's very important that I'm making this video. There are various guides here, and then I think here with me I've made about 8 steps that I'm going to be explaining to you. And so if you can follow this 8 step, I think you'll be able to send a buyer request that is very, very effective. And the reason why I have to do this is, a lot of people just go down and then you be like, okay, you saw a buyer request and you just want to respond to it as quickly as possible. It takes some model for you to be able to get result out of that buyer request. So without wasting much of our time, we're going to head straight over to our desktop, and then we are going to learn how to do this. And so right here, this is how you're actually going to be sending this buyer request. The first thing that you need to know is that you need to read. There are 3 models, 3 to 4 models I think you need to follow to be able to get this done right. So the first thing is that you need to read. This place says read, read. Make sure you read the buyer request. Never post without having in mind what the buyer really wants. And I'm actually going to be using some of the buyer requests that I've sent so far as example. So let's go down to this place, and this is it here. This is my account, and you can see with this account I've sent about 77 offers, and I think after sending this 77 offer, that was my starting point. I think I was able to have I was able to make roughly between $50 with this request. And the reason why I was able to make that, why it was that amount, was because of the gig I was offering. So my gig was $5 gig when I actually started out. So let's analyze this particular buyer request. This is post 67. Post 67 says, I'm looking for a content writer. My budget is 0.10 cent per word. Also, we write YouTube related articles, website tips, timetips.com. A requirement: high quality content, plagiarism free content, no grammar mistake, SEO optimized article, check site and category. Thank you. For more information, DM me. So you can see this guy highlights exactly what he's going to be needing. So when I was responding to this, I made sure I read his requirements. You see, I read. Don't forget, the first thing is that you have to the first thing, sorry, is that you actually have to read. You have to read what the buyer wants. You have to read. So I read that, and what did I do again? What I did goes in this particular next step. I interpreted it. After reading that, I interpreted. And so what does interpret means? It simply means that you should make sure to break down what the buyer wants into segments, mirror the buyer's needs, tell him or her you can solve exactly the problem he or she is having. So that's the second step. So what did I do here? I said hi, pause. And so you have to make sure that you also start these guys with their first name. It's very important. If you can't see the first name of the buyer, probably you are using your phone and then you can't see the first name of the buyer, you can just say hello, hey, or hi. But if you want to, in another video I think I'm going to be showing you how you can even get the names of those people. But it's always good to use your system. If you are using a system to respond to that request, you will always be able to see their name. So I said, hi pause, I'll do this for you. 1, plagiarism free. 2, high quality content. Don't forget, I'm mirroring what he needs. He said he needs a plagiarism free content. I'm telling him 1, plagiarism free. 2, high quality content. 3, SEO optimized. 4, 0 grammar error. All my content will be copyscape validated before you'll accept them. That means I'm telling him that I'm also going to give him the chance to to do a plagiarism check for the copy for the article I'll be writing for him before he accepts them. What other requirements would you need from me? Talk to you soon. Warm regards, Michael. And so this actually goes down to this supports the second thing I was going to tell you about buyer request. You want to make sure that after you interpret, You tell him or her you can solve exactly the problem he or she is having, and then you want to write per need. You want to write per need. You want to write per need. And so what this write per need means, I'll advise that you don't actually use a copy and paste method of responding to requests. It doesn't work that way. If you are using a copy and paste way of doing this, you are going to be responding machinically. Let me use that grammar. Yes, your response will not actually be flexible, and then the person will know you are just doing copy and paste. And most importantly, it will show that you are not putting in the buyer's need into focus. So and once a buyer sees that you are not actually putting their needs into focus, it kind of, it disappoints them. And so that's also for you, it also goes down for you. It also goes down for you. Let's assume you need something and somebody's responding to you, and then the person is not actually giving you exactly what you need. You are not going to be very happy about that. So you have to take that into notice. And then the other thing is that you can incentivize the buyer. Like what I did here was actually I tried to incentivize this buyer. I said all my content will be copyscape validated before you accept them. So this is not necessary that I actually put this, but I'm telling this guy that I'm going to put this into consideration before he accepts the request. And then you want to also do what? You want to respond to a request under maximum of 5 minutes. Any request you are responding to, make sure you respond to them maximum of under 5 minutes. Maximum of under 5 minutes. I think there's a particular request here that I actually responded to, and I think that request, I think I did business with that guy. So let me look here. Let me see a particular request that I responded to, that I did a business. I did business. Some of those people actually, most of these people chatted me up. Some of them they chatted me up. Some of them I did business with them, and some I was not able to do business with them. But basically, I think this is the model you follow in responding to requests. So I'm looking for somebody I actually did something with. Okay, this is NH Best. This guy was actually the one that was looking for translation work. This NH Best, this guy here, yes, was looking for somebody that could help him with translation, and we had some couple of conversation with him, and in one way or the other, yes, we didn't start the work with him. Courtesy, I think he had a problem from his other side. But I want us to actually look at how I responded to this guy's request. So he said, "Hi, I'm looking for someone who can translate our Chinese drama into English and make SRT file for the subtitle. If you have experience in that or get interested in that, please contact me. Thank you." And so that yeah, they had $600 for the budget of that. And so how did I use this? I use one of my gig that says translate any German or Russian text to fluent English style without any error. So I said, "Hi, I can help you get it done. I work with a team of translators. I'm an easy to direct team player and won't stress you out while we work on the project. How voluminous is this project?" And this actually brings me down to this particular slide here that says that try to always close with a question. After sending a request, you want to close up that buyer. You want to close up the buyer by giving a call to action. Call to action simply means telling the buyer exactly what to do. You can either tell the buyer, okay, you can message me now, and the rest of them. So what I do basically is that I make sure that my call to action ends with a question. And if you look at most of the requests I sent here, most of them I sent them in that line. So I said, how voluminous is the project? That was how I actually ended this request with this guy. And so if you look at most of my requests, I think that is how. Look at this. I said, check out for some work. What other requirements do I need to have to work with you on this? This is actually somebody who was requesting for somebody that could write a blog for him. And so when you look at this also, I said, should I send you copies of my previous work of confirmation? This is somebody that was looking for somebody that will write SEO blog for him. And so when you look at most of these guys, I responded to them based on what they asked, and then I closed them up with a question. This is another example here, responding to NHQR78. I said, what other requirements will you need from me? I get to me. I say, "Hi Nee, I can help you write high quality content that will be seen on Google without plagiarizing. I use Grammarly. I will also proofread to make sure all errors are eliminated. Plus, I'm an easy to direct kind of person that won't stress you out. What other requirements would you need from me? And so when you look at this, most of the requests that I send, I ended them up with asking a question. So it is simple. This helps you to keep the customer in an open mode, helping him or her to have a thinking space for your request. So when you end your request with a question, it helps you to be able to allow this customer, that's the client, to think about it. Gives, question prompts, it opens up the space of the mind, and then people start to think about you. So asking question is actually a method of putting yourself in the space of the buyer, and then it helps you a lot. And then the last thing you want to do is that send at least 10 requests per day. Quantity and quality works best together. Don't leave one for the other. So if you are sending quality requests, you follow this lineup that I've given here, which is, I said, read. Number one, you have to read the request of the buyer. Number two, you have to interpret what the buyer really wants. Number three, you want to write per need. Don't send a bulk SMS response kind to request. Are you getting me? Like a template and then you just copy and then you paste. It doesn't work that way. You always have errors that will alienate you from the buyer. And let me tell you that when you see people responding to buyer requests, don't be scared to respond, to put in your own response too, because most people don't follow this procedure. They don't follow this procedure. Most people just go ahead and they write buyer request anyhow. So if you can follow this procedure and send buyer request, you send consistently, it's not possible. By the time you are sending up to 70, 100 buyer requests, you see somebody that will actually decide to do business with you. So follow the step and make sure you follow them to the letter. You read, you interpret, you write per need, and then you want to incentivize the buyer, and then you want to respond to a request under maximum of 5 minutes, so that you can actually show up in 1 to 10 requests that will be pumping up on the other side of the buyer. And then you also want to make sure, you want to try to always close with a question, a CTA. Very, very important for you. You want to always close up with a question. It's very important. And then lastly, send at least 10 requests per day. At least 10 requests per day. And I think by the time you're actually able to do that, every other thing works out very fine for you. And so straight away, I think this is that about how you can send an effective buyer request to your client. This is exactly how you can send an effective buyer request to your client. So if there's any other questions that you have, you can always reach out to me, and then we'll go down and then give you some other tips on how you can grow your freelancing skill online. So by the time you are able to follow these, I think in 1 or 2 ways, you'll be able to get people responding to your buyer request and buying from you all the way. So bye bye from here. Once again, my name is Michael Uche Humadu, and I'm actually here to help you to be able to get the best out of your freelancing career. Till we see next time. Bye bye. Thank you.